Hey, what's up, you guys?
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're starting.
We're starting. So, I have a baby. So, we are gonna be mukbanging today. And Devin is here. You guys all know Devin. And she is going to be asking some questions about our labor experience and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
She waited to ask all the juicy questions until we were together so that we could.
So I actually have no idea what the answers are.
So we got some Chinese food. We're gonna eat and talk about labor.
Okay, question 1. Even though labors don't go as planned, was your labor how you expected it to be, but not what you not what you hoped for? Like, did you expect labor to be like how it was for you?
Okay.
That's my first.
No. It was a lot better than I expected. I think so. I was like terrified. Labor scared me so bad because I couldn't even imagine it or picture it. I've never been able to like watch a video of someone giving birth. Like, it freaked me out so bad where I would cry thinking about it. I was so scared about the pain and just everything because I'm not good with pain.
Yeah.
Like, I am such a baby. When I was like younger, I would pass out with pain. Like, any type of pain, I'd just pass out. So I was really scared of passing out. And I had talked to Molly about that. And she's like, you're not going to because the adrenaline and everything's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be okay. And I felt better about the fact that I'd be in a hospital. So if something did happen, like, I could
You were totally.
But it was a lot better. Like, the way everything went with us, which we still haven't done a video explaining how everything went, but I don't even know if that's ever gonna happen. We'll see.
Here it is.
Yeah, this is it.
Spark Notes version.
It all went very smoothly, and like the first, like, I feel like, I don't know, how long was I there? Like 5 hours of just being in the hospital were super calm. Even after that, it was really calm. Like, by the time I needed to start pushing and everything, it was still kind of like, oh, okay, this is just happening. Like, everything was just like very calm. So
I felt the same way. Like, you texted me at like 9 o'clock. Like, oh, I'm 9 centimeters. Like, gonna push soon. I was like, oh, you're super chill.
It was all very chill. Thanks for the epidural too. Like, when I was feeling contractions before I had it, like, that was really hard. But it was still just like a very calming environment. It wasn't like the movies at all where everything's like crazy. Your water breaks, you have to run to the hospital. Like, my water broke or started leaking. I called and they were like, okay, you can come, like, no hurry, shower, do what you gotta do. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I showered, went to my mom's house, hung out for a while, ate breakfast, and then like moseyed our way to the hospital. And then they're like, okay, you're admitted. And I'm like, okay.
I'm like, great.
This is happening.
Okay, my next question. Can you explain what contractions felt like if you could not explain them like period cramps, if possible? But you're probably gonna say that. And then
that's the only thing that I can relate it to.
Okay. Well, and then how did they come on? Meaning, like, did they like hit you like a ton of bricks, or did they kind of ease into them? Because that's like one thing that I think I fear is like, what is that gonna feel like, and how and when is it gonna happen?
For everyone, it's different. My experience was different because I took something for it. Since my water was leaking, they wanted me to stay in the hospital, and they wanted to give me Pitocin to get my contractions started because I was having 0 contractions while I was like having my water break. And I told them I wanted things to happen like naturally, so I waited like 6 hours or more waiting for contractions to see if they would just start naturally, and they didn't. Like, and so they're like, okay, at this point we want to like move things along.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take Pitocin, so they gave me like a very small dose of something called, was it called Misoprostol?
I forget the exact name,
something. Pretty much it was a pill to loosen your cervix. And they told me at that point too that this pill could potentially do nothing.
Oh.
Well,
and it was just like
it
was like a starter dose just
to make sure you didn't react badly.
Just to test it, just to see. And then they'd give you like another dose because they could give it to you like every 2 hours or something. I don't know exactly.
But so you would compare them to period cramps. In the same area? Like for me, I get cramps like right above my...
I feel like it was everywhere right here. Just
your
like
whole
a lot of pressure, yes.
Okay. Because I know some people get them in their back. But it's like, they feel like period cramps.
I got it in my back too.
Lovely.
I felt a lot of stuff in my back and my butt during everything. Yeah, so then once I took that pill, within like 30 minutes, I started feeling contractions, and then they went from like nothing to being like excruciatingly painful, like very fast. So, but that was, I think, probably because I took that. Everyone's different. I feel like some people it does come on really slow and then they get worse and worse. Mine were just terrible. So like right after I took it, it was like within, I feel like an hour or something, I got an epidural because it was like
dreams.
So painful.
Yeah, because I know like obviously everyone is different, disclaimer, but I'm always wondering like if you can get someone's like real personal opinion, that's nice. Because I feel when you like just go on YouTube and look at like surface videos or even like do your own research, it always seems super mild and like generic. Not like, oh, this is the real tea, sis. Something that scares me the most is the epidural, because I've watched a few videos of people getting them on YouTube, and I feel like they were like night and day. Like one person seemed super chill, and again, obviously it depends on you, and then one person was like having a meltdown. So like, how would you describe what it feels like?
It hurt. It hurt. I was confused though. I didn't like look at anything.
Yeah.
And we didn't record this part, so I can go back and look. But from what I felt, she said she needed to numb me first, so she gave me the lidocaine in my back. That hurt so bad. That's what hurt. Was the shot to numb me, not the actual epidural itself.
And when you say hurt, like the needle hurt you or the feeling of the...
It felt like a sting. Like I've never been stung by a bee, but it was like someone say like pinching you, but it didn't just last a second. Like when you get a shot, you just feel it. It was like a while, and you're just like ow, 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 and then you're in the middle of like having contractions too, and you're not supposed to move. So like that's what the hardest part was.
Yeah, like working through that.
Yeah, but it was definitely the numbing and the sting, because then after that, then once you're numb, you don't really like feel the actual thing going in.
And I'm not even afraid of needles.
Me neither.
I just
I wouldn't even think about that.
I don't like to think of like whatever the pain is going to be. That's what freaks me out.
Yeah, I think getting the epidural for me was worth it. I don't think I could have gotten through it without it.
Mini question segue into big question. Did you watch her come out of you?
No, I couldn't
see.
I couldn't see, but we did record it, so I saw after. So I watched the video.
So what was, I guess, for both of you then, what was it like to see? What was it like for you to see like a baby coming out?
That's a good question for Jonathan.
Come on in, baby. Because that's why I can't watch like labor videos. Like that freaks me out.
Well, for everyone who doesn't know, Jonathan actually helped pull her out. He had his hands on her and pulled her out of me. So
yeah, I grabbed her by the noggin and pulled her out that time.
Because obviously it's very beautiful, but I feel like
it was. I thought I'd be more freaked out by the sight of it. But I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it was like.
You were.
It was really intense knowing the pain that she was in.
Yeah.
So I was like really anxious for it to be over for her. And then when Lily was coming out, it was just like, it felt fake. It felt fake and it felt impossible because she was already in so much pain, and I knew there was still like the majority of the birth as far as the exit scheme to happen. But
once the head comes out though, like I didn't even feel anything else.
Once the majority of her head came out, and then
it was like whatever.
Yeah, the doctor said if you have to push, just push, because we were waiting for a contractions. So, but once she like got to the point where her head was out and it wasn't going back in, that's kind of when they told you to just, if you gotta push, just push.
And then
and
you just
it
have
hurt
that
really.
urge,
You were
you
in
just, like, have to
like
yeah.
immense pain. Like the worst pain the whole time was that last like inch, you know. But once she came out, once her head was pretty much out and she cleared like 90% of her head.
Yeah. Dang.
The doctor's hands were on top of my hands, and my hands were on her head, and one below and one above.
Wow.
And I literally pulled her out.
That's
like
crazy.
I felt myself pulling her out.
That's so crazy.
And then my eyes closed, and I felt like I blacked out.
I didn't black out.
Yeah, because I saw her, and then they took her. And it was just a mess.
I think it's just a wild
and he was
concept.
sobbing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was sobbing for like 10 minutes after that. I don't remember
And that was one thing that I didn't mention too. Like, I got the epidural, but you still feel stuff with the epidural. Like, some people do, some people don't. It's just like everyone's different. Some people, they get the epidural and they have to be told when they're having contractions to push. I could feel every single contraction still. It was not like the pain that I was feeling before contractions, but it was
still
like so much pressure. Like I told you, everything I felt was like in my butt. I felt like so much pressure in my butt.
No wonder.
Like Jonathan was massaging my butt between things and everything like that because my butt hurt so bad. And like when her head was coming out, it burned. Like it was another sting. Like it was like almost like everything was like on fire or something down there. Which is crazy.
It was just the
It was,
stretch, you know.
That's
yes,
wild.
it like stung so bad. And I was like, am I not supposed to be feeling things? But
Yeah.
I am.
I really
Why
think,
do I feel everything?
When I told my mom what you told me, my mom was surprised. She's like, I didn't feel like anything. Like she literally was like, I woke up and 20 minutes later you were born. And I was like, wow.
I was like crying and wanting to scream.
yeah,
Like
you were in a lot of pain.
it hurt.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like too, obviously YouTubers edit their videos obviously how you want to see it, but like the past few videos I've watched, people look like super peaceful while pushing. And like
Yeah.
baby like when like Aspen, like her baby came out and she was like, she seemed so peaceful, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
freaking out.
I know they always say too, like after, once the baby's born, it goes away completely and everything's just like back to normal.
Like you
And it's so cliche, but it's so true.
It
you
is.
forget all
As
of that
soon as
pain.
she was born, you were just like, the
I
look
felt
on your
nothing.
face was just,
All my pain was gone like instantly. I didn't
Totally
even
different.
I didn't feel a thing. After she was out, there was like a gush. Like blood and liquid and
Yeah.
everything like
I
that.
watched that. That was
And-
interesting.
I watched that.
And like that felt great. It felt like an amazing release. Like the biggest poo. Like,
You've ever taken.
that you've ever taken, just like that
Kinda
amazing
was.
release, yeah. Like it's, oh my god. And then after that I literally felt nothing. I was like,
That's
let's
so weird.
let's go. Like I wasn't,
Let's go.
I didn't, and the epidural goes away too right after that because they turn it off and then it's like out of your system. You don't have like, because then she was on my chest for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
And then after that I was getting up, going to, they were having me like walk to the bathroom and everything. And
And you peed?
because
that
I
feel
kept
like?
like peeing myself. It's like the most exhausting day ever.
It was really exhausting. I had to stand there the whole time. My feet were killing me. It was horrible.
Oh, that's all you had to do?
Shit.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, I gotta take it back. Tell us about your placenta.
Oh, so pushing that out, I didn't even know that you had to like
Do that.
deliver that. Honestly, that was like nothing.
I
literally
figured
didn't
it
feel
was in like the grand. So like, okay, so you give birth, she goes on your chest. You didn't tear, so they weren't like looking for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, they were, but they didn't find anything.
Yeah.
Then they tell you like you have to push that out, or like.
So you're still kind of having contractions,
Okay.
and they want you to push, so I had to push it out. But I feel like I wasn't even paying attention.
Okay.
I was holding her,
You were doing your thing.
and like I was like, okay, I'm pushing. then it was out. It was just like a big.
Did it feel weird coming out?
It
'Cause
felt like a glob, like just
like a clot, but gigantic.
Gigantic.
You know. See, that freaks me out. Like, I don't know. I think once I'm pregnant and like going to have a baby, like this stuff won't freak me out. But like this whole unknown really freaks me out. The placenta really freaks me out. 'Cause
Really?
It just looks so gory. Like, I know it's natural, but like I don't like blood and like
Well, you don't even have to see it.
I
She
don't.
like asked me if I wanted to like look at it and everything, so she started like picking it up and like was showing me other things, and I was like, ew.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to see it. I just can't imagine, like, when you give birth to a baby, that's like a being that is like hard, if that makes sense, and a placenta is soft. So like I think that would feel so, it was like you'd be pooping out your vagina basically. That's what I imagine it as, and that just feels just wrong.
Well, at that point too, I feel like,
You're like in YOLO mode.
yeah. But some people, it's not as easy as an experience with the placenta, like my sister.
Yeah.
It can get stuck, and she didn't have an epidural and stuff, so you have to like,
That's freaky. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah.
So you told me that.
And then sometimes they have to like reach up there and pull things out.
Okay, so I know that you didn't want to like know anything prior to labor. You didn't do any research, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. So I knew you were scared, or whatever the word is. When you were at the hospital, did you still have those same fears? Slash, or like, were there moments where that fear went away?
I was still scared at the hospital a little bit because everything's happening and you have like doctors, nurses, everyone coming and asking you 1,000 questions about like what you want to do, how things are gonna go, how this is happening, and you're just like, okay, like I don't know. Like I was very lost, and a lot of it had to do with because of the fact that I didn't do a lot of research too. I didn't have the answers. I didn't know what I wanted. And like I had a birth plan like of stuff like written out and everything, but there was still like that doesn't always happen. So they're still asking you questions about like if you want this med or like something like that. So that's where it was nice having our doula too, because Molly, every question they asked me, we just like ask Molly and be like, what should I do?
Yeah.
Because like I'm always like that in life where I would rather someone else just make the decision for me so I don't have to. So I just looked at Jonathan and her for like everything.
Guidance.
And while you're in labor and like having crazy contractions, it's nearly impossible to even have a thought. So like it was very frustrating having nurses come in and ask me questions while I was going through that, because I'm just like, don't talk to me. Like I don't have an answer for you, and I just be like, Jonathan, figure it out. I was like, I don't know. So I went back and forth with like when to get the epidural like 20 times. Where the doctor came in.
How do you know?
And they're like, she's a little indecisive right now. And I'm like, yes, I am. I don't know what to do. So yeah, I don't know. So, I was definitely still very like nervous, and I felt shaky and stuff. And I know the epidural made me really shaky, but I felt like some of it was nerves too.
So are you happy that you didn't know things, or like,
yes,
if you could go back, would you like do some research, or I mean, no, I just wouldn't.
I don't think I would, because for me, research scares me. And like the fact that there's so many people that are like, oh, I don't want an epidural because this and this and this. I'm just like, I didn't even look any of that up, because then I'd be freaked out, and then it would scare me more. But I know I wouldn't be able to handle the pain. But then I'd be so scared to get the epidural, and I would just rather just go in and be like, I'm just gonna have this, and this is gonna be fine. Like everything's gonna be okay. And to some people, that's just like not how they do things. But that's how I do things.
Okay, this is post-birth question.
Okay.
Because I've never known this one. How long did you bleed for, and would you compare it to a period?
Definitely would compare it to a period. I felt like I had a period. I think I bled for about 3 weeks. Yeah, so about 3 full weeks of bleeding. Yeah. And like the first 2 at least were like pretty, like not super heavy. First week I wore diapers the whole time at home, and my bladder was like very not intact, so I would like sometimes just pee myself, which I actually did the other day still. Like if I have to pee really bad and I hold it for too long, it just starts coming out. So
just ride out.
Yes, it is very much like a period, just a very long one, along with just like a little bit of like soreness and stuff, depending on if you tore or not. I wasn't like in too much pain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, okay, like you can't wipe whenever you pee. For how long?
I'm just now starting to wipe. I still like kind of dab.
Yeah.
Just because like wiping, like it's sensitive down there. Like I'm not like sore, but when I wipe, it's sensitive, where I'm just like, oh, I don't like the way that feels.
Yeah. So you still like squirt.
Well, I have that, but I also would always just like dab it with toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like just like pat dry.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
crazy.
Besides that one time I had a blood clot that was the size of, like,
Yeah, so that, you told me about that. Would you say, I think you first told me like it was the size of something else. And
I said it was the size of my brain.
Yeah, so I was like, literally, like, no, like a baseball. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
even better. Like, so, okay.
Probably bigger than a baseball.
Okay.
I showed you the picture, didn't we?
No.
We didn't show you the picture?
No.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
send me the picture of my blood clot.
Oh my god, my heart just stopped. Okay.
Devin, it was, okay, so the size of like a normal period pad is like this, right? It was that whole thing.
It was on your
It
pad?
fell out on my pad
Oh
because I was
my
wearing a pad.
gosh.
Like, so I was sitting on the couch and I stood up and all of a sudden I felt this like gush come out of me, but it didn't feel like liquid. It felt like
Just gush.
jelly. Like,
Oh my
like
God.
It was gooey and I was like, something just happened. And I went to the bathroom and I looked and I was like I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
So we called the hospital like right away and we're like, is this okay? And they're like, yeah, as long as you're not passing them like two every hour or something like that.
Oh my
then you're
god, okay,
fine.
hold on. I want to look, but like, I want to like look on my own terms. Okay, hold on. Okay, this isn't. Oh my god, Victoria.
It was thick. Like it was thick, Devin. I like got 2 pads and laid it out because I was like, do I save it? Do I need to bring it?
I
to
can't not look. Holy.
the-
Oh my god.
Like look at that. That's what it looked like when they like pulled my underwear out. It was
Are
like,
you kidding me? I can't help but laugh because I'm nervous.
it was so big.
Okay, so like,
Terrifying.
when I have my period, I have clots, but they look
I
kind
don't
of.
get clots. So
I do. So, but they're usually like quarter size, and they look like almost like sea animal like, you know, like they're like thin, they like float. So I when you told me it was the size of a freaking baseball, I imagined it was like thin.
No, this is like thick jelly.
That was like literally.
That looks like you could have put it in a jar and sold it like at the grocery store.
That freaks me out more than birth.
Mhm.
Like if that would have happened to me and I had no freaking idea.
I was like shaking and Jonathan was just like, okay, it's okay, calm. And I'm like, calm. Like I was getting angry because I was so scared. I thought I was dying.
Freaking crazy.
Yeah, and that's normal.
That's like the size of almost your placenta.
Yes. It was huge. And so
Oh my god.
normal size too is golf ball. They're like, oh, you can pass like golf ball ones, you know, like every hour,
Regular.
and that's normal. And I'm just like, okay. But that was like, I had one like that big the day before, or like a couple days prior, and I freaked out and called the hospital because I hadn't had any. And then that one came out of me, and I was like, I'm dying.
And that looks
I
like-
need to go to the ER right now.
To me, that looks like that shouldn't even be happening.
I know.
I seriously thought I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, it was probably like.
No, Devin, it was crazy.
This is actually my last question.
Okay.
I feel like it's not that like exciting, but
Okay.
I wanted you to explain your chopped nipples and how you got scabs on your nipples because that
Oh my
concerns
God.
me.
That hurt really.
Well, yeah, I just like wonder how that works. Like, okay, explain your scabs, and then like your baby's eating on your boobs. Like, is she eating your scabs?
I know it's weird.
Sorry, that sounds like really just bizarre, but
So
curious.
from the beginning, you start breastfeeding like kind of right away, like right after you have them. You're like hanging out with them for a while, and they're like, okay, you want to try to feed her? And you're like, oh, sure. And so their latch isn't that great. You don't really have milk. You just have that colostrum stuff. So I don't know. It just like instantly after just like trying to feed her once, I feel like I already started having scabs on my nipples. Just I think it's just from them like sucking and then like
the
yeah, just like not
friction?
having their latch right because they don't know what they're doing yet, and we are just like learning. Yeah, everyone's learning. Yeah, and then I started using like the nipple cream and everything. But for the first week, oh my god, it was so bad. Like when your milk comes in, that day is like the hardest day because your baby's on you 24/7. You literally, I could not move that whole day, and I was like crying because they're attached to you while your milk is coming in, and so they're like sucking on you all day. And every time she would attach to me, I would be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because it would hurt so bad. Like it was just like so painful. And then every time they'd be like, it's not supposed to be painful when you breastfeed, and I'm like, okay, well it is.
What do you want me to do?
It's so bad right now. And then it's like, how do I heal my nipples if she continuously is eating on them?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to have them heal? So it was just like really hard. But then after like the first week, then they're better, and then everything's been fine. It doesn't hurt anymore. And like sometimes she like pulls really hard, so it like stings a little bit, but it's not like
The first.
oh my god, that first like week is rough with breastfeeding. At least for me.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
The scabbing just kind of.
Yeah, the scabbing's weird, but the nipple cream that I had did really help. I feel like they like gave me different, like they told me different things to do. But I feel like out of everything I did, the nipple cream helped. And I feel like nipples, for some reason, it's kind of like the mouth where it healed really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have really bad scabs, and by the next morning, they already looked so much better.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed with that. But yeah, it was kind of weird, like thinking like my little scabs are like in her mouth. Like it's like kind of bloody. And I'm like, can you taste the blood? You know? So blood's like really like irony. So I don't know. That was our mukbang. That's all your questions?
That's all my questions.
Okay.
Those were all my immediate questions.
Yeah, that you needed to know.
If you have any, leave them down in the comments below.
Yeah. Devin's next, so we'll be doing a mukbang.
Not pregnant right now. Just for all my
She should be.
friends and family that may watch this. Not pregnant. So.
Yeah, but I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for her to get pregnant. To just be able to hear someone else's experience that's like close to me, because like I had told her like I didn't like pregnancy and everything, but like the birth part was pretty cool. Alright guys. More food comas. It's time for bed.
Yeah, it's time for bed.
It's late actually.
It's actually
so
not late.
For me. This is so late.
It's 8:40.
It's bedtime.
I mean, I'm definitely tired, but like.
Well, I'm always tired now, so it is what it is. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for asking questions and joining
Of course.
on our mukbang journey. We'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye.